Hey y'all, Jennifer here from JS Creations Art Sanity, and today I'm going to make some pins using some vinyl and glitter. So these pins are the Papermate InkJoy gel pins that I get from Walmart, and to prep them, I take all the insides out, put them in my little plastic baggie so that I have them all together and I don't lose anything. I then take my flush cutters and cut off the clip and then use my sanding block just to smooth out that cut and kind of rough up the surface. I'm then going to take some 91% isopropyl alcohol that I have in this little spray bottle and clean off any of the dust from that sanding. Then I'm going to I use some dowel rods to put these pins on while I'm working with them. And I usually put a little bit of Vaseline at the bottom of my dowel rod there where my pin meets to keep the epoxy from sticking and kind of curing the pin to the dowel rod. Now I did not do that this time because there was still just a little bit on there, but there's the tip for you. To keep your pins from sticking, put a little bit of Vaseline and the resin won't stick to that. I then will spray paint these with a base coat of black. I just use some Rustoleum, whatever I have on hand. And that's pretty much there's a clear spot on the front of the pins and spraying it with a base coat just kind of gets everything the same, texture, color. Um, so yeah, so once that's done, I use my vinyl here. This vinyl is just, I had some left over. I think this vinyl came from a pack from LittleLee and Rose. It's just some rainbow colored heart vinyl. I knew it wasn't going to cover the whole pin, which I was fine with that. That's why I'm going to use glitter to cover the top. But I just cut off, I think it's a 1 1/4 to 1 1/2 inches. I'll double check that and have it in the description below. So you see here, I'm just kind of measuring out and then cutting accordingly. Um, I have enough to do 6 pins, so that's what I'm doing here. All of my supplies and everything will be listed in the description below, so be sure to check that out. Now to put the vinyl on, there is on the back of these pins, there's like a row of like dots, and that's kind of what I use to line up my vinyl to get it straight all the way around. And then I'm just using the bottom of the pin as a guideline too. So once I have all of my vinyl on my pins, I'm then going to use some Mod Podge just to kind of seal everything in. I do this with any vinyl that I use now because at one point in time, I had vinyl come up in my epoxy, and that's just a pain. There's really not a way to fix that. So just to prevent that, I go ahead and do this extra step of using some Mod Podge just to seal in any vinyl that I use on any project that I'm using with epoxy. So once that's dry, you can see here I have my glitter all laid out that I'm going to use for each pin, um, and have that ready to go before I start epoxying. So I just put a thin layer of epoxy on my pin, and then I've got my glitter ready over there, and I am going to cover the top of my pin, that black part that's showing. Um, Since it is black, it's just going to kind of have a rainbow effect. It's not going to show the true pink color, which I'm fine with that. But I make sure that tip is covered and then I hold it at an angle and kind of pour on the glitter where the vinyl meets and have that glitter cascading down the pin. And then I just dump it I'm working on a piece of paper here and I just dump it back into my bottle there and go on with the next one. I make sure to have my glitter open and ready to go after I'm done epoxying here. And then I just have them on my turner. I use my honeycomb turner with some rubber bands to hold my pins together. You'll see that here. And I just leave that spinning until these are cured. And then I will put a coat of epoxy over this glitter once it's cured. I don't show you that because it's just the same thing, basically what I did, minus the glitter. I'm just going to epoxy right over that with plain clear epoxy. Here are the glitters that I used for those pins. And so once the top layer of epoxy is all cured, my glitter's all covered, it's time to put them back together. So I just use my X-Acto knife here and kind of clean out the insides of them. Make sure there's nothing that's going to in there that's going to block the insides from going in and working. They do have, slugs, and I have got those. I saw them off of Amazon. I do have some that you could put like little silicone plugs in the top so that nothing does get in there. To me, those are just a pain. I don't like them, so this is what I do here. I try not to get anything in, but if I do, I just use my knife to kind of scrape it out. If I'm having a hard time, I'll hit it with my heat gun to kind of soften it a little bit. And it always comes out. I really don't have a problem with that. Then I put all my insides back in, make sure the pen is working. If it's not, I need to go back in and clean it out. And yeah, so that's basically it. Here they are all done. And yeah, as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, leave me a comment. And like I said, all of my supplies and where I got them will be listed in the description below. And until next time, see ya.